Good afternoon, all. CamelbackTrading.org coming to you this Friday afternoon, October 28th. We are looking at window traders market profile of the ES and NQ. So a couple things. We have a lot to go over: the day, the week, the charts. But I want you to understand something. Earlier this week, last week, you had people screaming about how the melt-up's coming. Now you'll probably have people screaming this weekend how the sell will come. When people do that, do me a favor. Don't listen to them, don't watch them, don't follow them. Let's be honest. I hope you realize I give, or attempt to give, both sides of the market all the time and my reason why. And I change when the market, when something changes, okay? For anybody who follows me on here, and especially everybody in my room, again, I'm a day trader. But I do like to look at the bigger picture. And I was in the bull camp, I said, until we take out last week's low. And it doesn't mean I'm in the bear camp yet. I said clearly, if we stay, and we'll look at it on the chart, if we stay above that 430 level in SPY and in that upper balance, the odds, remember, everything is odds. The odds of maybe testing this year's high were good. Well, that's changed dramatically now. I'm not saying we can't do it, but it's changed dramatically, and we'll go over everything on the charts. Another thing to keep in mind, this is the third day in a row now. We've probed to the downside. Haven't done that in a while. It's also another trend day down, even though it was a B shape for long liquidation most of the day. But another thing, we're going to have another volume that's going to be in our top 10. So for the longest time, and I mean the longest time, we couldn't crack into the top 10 in volume since March. Well, since then, September 29th we got in it, October 19th we got in it, and now again today we're going to get in it. So out of the last, three out of the 10 top volumes are now going to become between September 29th and today. So for sure, volume is picking up, volatility is picking up, which is a good thing. Bulls have to be very unhappy. I mean, they had a horrible week. And they gave up a lot this week. Had a good day today, and it started with a loss in A period, but I got out of that really quick. It looked like NQ was going to get the overnight high. Took a long, only a one lot. Just lost 7 points on it. And I'm like, this isn't working. And boy, oh boy, did I make up for it after that. Because then in B period, I took both ES and NQ on the short side to go get the overnight lows and stuff, and did very well in B period. Everything after that was a short except one long in E period, which I did well on in ES, and I'll go over that in a second. Shorted C period in ES. I took the long in E because we always talk about when the market's coming in, look at good acceleration in A. Look at the distance in B. Look at the distance in C. So good volume, good tempo. But look at D and look at E. Something's changing there. What was changing there? We also were right at the 200-day moving average in ES and SPY at that time. So once E started going up, I'm like, I think they're going to alleviate some short pressure. So I took a long for 10 points in ES. Worked out nicely. Then I'm looking for my afternoon rally high. Nailed them in ES and NQ. Both of them. And on small lots also. I shorted G high when NQ filled the single prints to get filled the first time. I shorted 79, I think, the first time in ES for 4 points. And then again in H, nailed it in H period. I took, and it was only a two lot. It was only a two lot, but it just poured in. So I made 50 points on it total. If we had filled the single prints, I would have added. Same in ES, again only a one lot, but I made 5 points on it. If we had filled the single prints, probably was going to go full boat on at least ES. I don't know about NQ. So the market was textbook today on this type of day. The market got too short, alleviate the short, get the momentum buyers in thinking we're going to get a V shape, only to annihilate them. Excuse me. And then I took another nice short in J period when I thought we were going to stop the one-time framing up in NQ. Made another 24 points out of that. Had a really good day, really good week overall. More importantly than the P&L is we saw the market very well this week, and I'm very happy with that. And that was having to change a couple of times because we made those highs on Tuesday, and then all of a sudden things changed. So I was very happy that we adapted to when the market changed to see what was happening. Now, far cry from last week. Last week was a lot more difficult, but this week was very, very accommodating, I think, with the MGI. Righty goes out with a price probe, a 9-wide pocket, and an afternoon rally high. NQ goes out, double distribution day, 9-wide and a price probe. We go out with 9-wide, double distribution, and a price probe. At least we got 9-wide today, right? The other days we could remember we were 8-wide and couldn't get them before we started our sell-off. So at least today we got them. Now, as far as destinations on the upside, I am using L as low as the price probe, 421.74, 423.11, 9-wide. Single prints, 424.78 to 425.09, and today's high, 426.54. For the downside, 421.08 is a daily low. And I'm not giving you the other ones, even though they're from back in June, because you should have them. I asked you to write them down. In ES, they took out a bunch more lows than SPY did. The low is 47.25, which is a weekly low, and then filling the gap at 39.75 from June 2nd. We've wiped out a lot of upside. As far as the upside, price probe 53.75, L's low, 67.59 wide, single prints 85 to 87.25, and today's high of 02.25. Excuse me. Now, let's go to the charts. Remember we were talking a while back, we had that low volume area that started 43.57 and gets filled kind of at 41.40. We're only 100 points from there, right? We took over 100 points to the downside into it. So very amazing, very fascinating. Now, Righty has been the canary in the coal mine. We said that earlier when they got below their 200 a while back. We asked, is that a warning? So far, it certainly has been. Righty is now coming up upon, not too far away from a triple bottom on these monthlies, right? Their low is 166.43. These lows are in at around the 162.78 level, 163.28, 162.50. Now remember, 2 short months ago, we had a chance to take out the balance high. It turned out to be a great swing trade short. Is this setting up to be a great swing trade long? It's possible. On the other hand, we've been in this balance since May of 2022. That's a long time. Are we ever going to get out of this thing? Took a long time up here. They gave us a head fake to the upside, came back into balance, and then we finally went down. Balance, down, and now balance again. Something's going to be happening here sooner rather than later on the bigger time frame, I think, in IWM. We're either going to find buyers at this huge monthly balance and start rotating back up, or we're going to finally get through it. I don't have the answer, but something should be happening sooner. We're also right now $7 below August of 2018's high. So five plus years out the window in IWM for longs. So it will be interesting. But believe it or not, this is still balance on the monthly. Even though we came from 199 to 166, it's just still balance. Yes, we're one time framing down 3 months or 2 months, but it's balance. Weekly, down. Came into balance last week, back down this week. Okay? Here's these lows we keep talking. Here's these lows. So very interesting levels we're getting to, my friends. They're not that long ago. It's summer of fall of 2022. So the monthly is balanced, the weekly is down, the daily is certainly down. Here's where we kept talking about, will this be the canary in the coal mine? Well, since we said that, they got below it. That was around the 184 level. We've come in $18 more. So monthly balance, weekly and daily firmly down. Triple Qs down on the monthly. Incredibly, we're still an inside month though, with 1 week to go. Now that doesn't stop the one-time framing, but at least slows it down if we have an inside month. And last month's low, we got within $2 of it. We'll see if we're going to get it at some point. Weekly balance. How big is the balance? I would incorporate this as a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 week balance. Last week's high is the top of it. September 25th is the bottom of it. So even if we take out today's low on Monday, we're not coming out of balance yet on the weekly. We're still about $3 above it. So balance rules would come into effect. Keep that in mind. So the monthly is down, weekly is balanced, the daily down, firmly down. Still above the 200 by $17. So that's still pretty good. Now, let's go to ES and SPY. Monthly is down, one-time framing down 3 months. The next target is June of this year's low of 416.79. Do we see it? It's probably a good chance, but we'll see. Right now we're down. Maybe we come into balance if we see that level at some point. But right now the monthly is down. The weekly, here's where the bulls lost a lot. Last week, came out of balance to the upside. This week, we took out last week's high. I'm like, wow, that's pretty good. Here we go. We're holding this level. We're going to stay in this upper balance. That was Tuesday. Here we are 3 days later. Look what we did. So from Tuesday's high to today's low, $17. It's over 4. That's 4%. So pretty ugly finish. It's an outside week down. We took out last week's high, last week's low, and closed way below last week's low. Look where we're teetering at. The upper end of this whole freaking balance. Right? This is no man's land between 421, 430. We've been in it 4 weeks now. I thought we might have gotten out of it, and that's why I was telling you I thought we had a chance for new highs this year because of what we did last week and the beginning of this week. That, for me, has gone out the window as of right now. Does it mean we're never going to see this high again this year? Of course not. I think what it means to me is I don't think we're going to make a new... I think making new highs this year, have gotten, odds-wise, a lot less. That's how I look at it. If we get any acceptance below here, into here, those odds go down even a lot more. So bulls, again, are teetering on getting sucked into this balance after failing in this one. Balance. Now, today in ES, today's low is the balance low. In SPY, we just missed the balance low by about $1. So we're a little different, ES and SPY. If ES makes a new low on Monday, you're coming out of balance on the weekly to the downside. SPY would still have to go another $1, so keep that in mind. So the monthly is down, the weekly is balanced with an outside week down. The daily is firmly down. Now, this is our first close below the 200-day moving average since, let me see, didn't close there this day. Not that day. Not that. It has to be this day, I'm assuming. March 7th. Oh, look at that. St. Patrick's Day. The last time we closed below the 200-day moving average in SPY is St. Patty's Day. We have not spent a lot of time below the 200-day moving average this year. Okay? So, again, is this, the end of the bulls? Of course not. Look at this. 4 days we traded there before we rallied. Just because we stayed up above it didn't mean it was okay, even though we did rally. So this does not mean, this isn't a death sentence for the bulls, okay? But it is something to keep in mind. It's the first time in 6 months that we closed below it. Something to keep in mind on decent volume, no less. So the last 2 days, right, we are now at 121 million. Yesterday we did 121 million. So if we do, if we do another 400,000 shares, it'll be better than yesterday's. But regardless, they're both in the top 10. So again, I think it's important for you traders to look at this in context and on both sides of the market. If this happens, this could happen. Please weed out the carnival barkers that I guarantee you now everybody on Twitter will be yelling, sell will come. If Israel invades Gaza, this is not, again, the news does not make the market makes the news. And why am I saying that? And I know this is long, but I want you to see something. This whole thing with Israel started 2 weeks ago. Well, we made a new high this week. Did we not? We took out last week's high, even though this whole thing started last week. So let's not blame what's happening in Israel for why the market sold off the rest of the week. It's a poor excuse. Why did the market sell off? We failed up here. Plain and simple. Once we failed up here, right, we looked above last week's high and didn't get much. Plain and simple. And we got below the 430 level, then we took out last week's low and we're down here. Use market-generated information for why the market did what it did, and not for what happened in Ukraine, Israel, California, the Speaker of the House, oil prices. That's all bullshit. If you want to look at those things and use them as excuses, God bless you. Use MGI as the reason for what the market's doing. All right, that's my last word on that. Anyway, I hope you had a great week trading. Thanks for the likes and subscribing to this channel. I had a bunch of people sign up this week, so come join us at camelbacktrading.org. $1 a day. $1 a day I am breaking down this market for 6.5 hours for you guys and gals. Come give us a try. All right, stay safe, and we'll speak prior to the opening on Monday.